Why do you keep knocking on doors that refuse to open? Why do you keep offering your heart to people who hand it back like it's worthless? There's something happening that you need to understand. Something that will free you from years of rejection, confusion, and self-doubt. Today, I want to show you why chasing people who cannot see your light isn't humility or love, it's self-abandonment. And why the moment you stop, everything changes. If this is speaking to your soul right now, hit that like button and subscribe. And I need you to comment below. Who are you finally ready to stop chasing? Sometimes naming it is the first step to freedom. Let me tell you about a man who changed my understanding of worth. Viktor Frankl, in the concentration camps, witnessed something profound. Some prisoners would degrade themselves, begging guards for scraps of approval, willing to betray their own dignity for a moment of recognition. Others, despite the horror, maintained an inner stance that no external circumstance could touch. Frankl realized that the second group had discovered something the first hadn't. Your worth is not determined by who recognizes it. It exists independent of external validation. The sun doesn't dim because someone closes their curtains. Your light doesn't diminish because someone chooses blindness. Here's what neuroscience reveals about this pattern, and it's going to explain why you keep doing this. Andrew Huberman's research on attachment and the dopamine system shows us something critical. When someone gives you inconsistent attention, when they validate you occasionally but withdraw often, your brain gets trapped in what's called a variable reward schedule. It's the same mechanism that makes gambling addictive. The unpredictability creates a dopamine spike that's actually stronger than consistent reward. So when you're chasing someone who sometimes sees you and sometimes doesn't, you're not weak. You're literally neurologically hooked on the pattern. Your brain has been hijacked by intermittent reinforcement. But here's the liberating truth. Understanding this mechanism is the first step to breaking it. You're not broken. You're responding exactly as your nervous system was designed to respond. And now that you know, you can rewire it. Napoleon Hill studied this from a different angle, and what he found was revolutionary. Every person who achieved something significant had learned one non-negotiable lesson. You cannot drag people into your vision. You cannot convince someone to see what they're not ready to see. Hill called it going the extra mile, but he was clear. You go the extra mile for those who appreciate the first mile. You don't waste your energy trying to prove your value to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Edison didn't chase investors who called him crazy. He found the ones who saw what he saw. Ford didn't beg skeptics to believe in him. He surrounded himself with people who already did. Your energy is your most precious resource. Where you direct it determines the trajectory of your entire life. Now listen to what Neville Goddard understood about this, that most people miss entirely. He taught that everyone in your life is reflecting back some assumption you hold about yourself. If you're constantly chasing people who don't value you, you need to ask a hard question. What part of me doesn't value me? Because the universe doesn't send you what you want, it sends you what you believe you deserve. Goddard would say, stop trying to change their perception of you and start changing your perception of yourself. When you internally know, not hope, not wish, but know, your worth, you stop gravitating toward people who question it. Your external reality will reorganize itself to match your internal conviction. This isn't magical thinking. This is how self-concept shapes every choice you make, every boundary you set, every person you allow into your inner world. Take a moment right now and like this video if you're tired of betraying yourself for people who don't deserve access to you. And comment, what would change if you truly believed you were enough? Let's speak this truth into existence together. Here's a story that illustrates this perfectly. There was a woman named Maya, brilliant, kind, endlessly giving. She spent 3 years trying to make a relationship work with someone who treated her presence like an option. She twisted herself into shapes she didn't recognize, hoping that if she could just be better, quieter, more understanding, he would finally see her. One night, exhausted and broken, she asked herself a question that changed everything. If someone treated my daughter the way I'm allowing myself to be treated, what would I tell her? The answer was immediate and clear. Run. That question broke the spell. Not because he changed, he never would, but because she finally saw what she'd been doing. She'd been volunteering for her own diminishment. Within 6 months of ending that relationship, she met someone who saw her clearly from day one. Not because she changed who she was, but because she changed who she was willing to accept. Huberman's work on neuroplasticity confirms this. Your brain literally rewires based on where you consistently place your attention. If you spend your energy focused on people who reject you, trying to decode what's wrong with you, analyzing every interaction for signs of approval, you're training your neural circuits to become hypersensitive to rejection. You're building a brain that's an expert at finding evidence that you're not enough. But the reverse is also true. When you redirect your attention toward people who do see you, who do value you, who do reciprocate your energy, you rewire toward connection, toward secure attachment, toward self-worth. This isn't about positive thinking. This is about deliberate neural training. You become what you practice paying attention to. Frankl would add this essential layer. You have the freedom to choose your response to any situation, including rejection. You can choose to internalize it as evidence of your insufficiency, or you can see it as information. This person is not aligned with your path. Their blindness says nothing about your light. It says everything about their current capacity to perceive. And that's not your responsibility to fix. Your responsibility is to honor your light by not hiding it, dimming it, or apologizing for it. Some people are in seasons where they can only see darkness. That doesn't mean you join them there. It means you bless them and move toward those who are seeking light. Hill was ruthlessly practical about this. He said that your mastermind group, the people you surround yourself with, will determine your level of achievement more than talent or education. If you're surrounded by people who diminish you, who question your dreams, who make you feel small, you will achieve small things. Not because you're incapable, but because your environment is actively suppressing your potential. He would tell you, audit your inner circle with the same rigor you'd audit a business investment. Are these people expanding you or contracting you? Are they celebrating your growth or feeling threatened by it? And here's the hard part. Sometimes the people you need to stop chasing are family, old friends, people you love. This doesn't make you cold. It makes you wise. You can love people from a distance. You can honor what was without sacrificing what could be. Goddard takes this even deeper into the invisible realm. He taught that assumption creates reality. If you assume you need to chase, prove, convince, and beg for love and recognition, you will create endless scenarios where that's required. But if you assume, not hope, assume, that the right people recognize your value effortlessly, that love flows to you naturally, that you are seen and celebrated by those meant for you, reality will reorganize to reflect that assumption. This is why affirmations fail for most people. They're saying words they don't believe. Goddard said, don't affirm, assume. Live from the end. Act as if it's already true. When you stop chasing, you're not giving up. You're taking the most powerful stance possible. I am already whole. I already have value. Those who see it will find me. Those who don't are simply not my people. Pause for a second. Think about the energy you've been giving to people who don't give it back. What would you do with that energy if you redirected it toward yourself, toward your dreams, toward people who actually reciprocate? Comment below. Where are you going to invest your energy now? Here's what happens when you finally stop chasing. First, there's grief. You have to mourn the fantasy of what you hoped those relationships would become. That's real, and it's necessary. Let yourself feel it. But then something shifts. You start noticing people who were there all along, quietly valuing you, and you couldn't see them because you were so focused on the ones who didn't. Your nervous system begins to calm. The anxiety that came from constant rejection and uncertainty starts to ease. You sleep better. You think more clearly. Huberman would tell you, that's your autonomic nervous system shifting from sympathetic overdrive, fight, flight, freeze, back into parasympathetic regulation. You're literally returning to physiological safety. And then the most profound thing happens. You start showing up differently. When you're not performing for approval, when you're not editing yourself to be palatable, your authentic self emerges. And that authentic self has a magnetic quality that your performing self never did. The right people are attracted not to your perfection, but to your realness. Frankl called this self-transcendence. The moment you stop being obsessed with yourself and how you're perceived, you become free to actually connect with others and with purpose. Hill would say, you've stopped scattering your energy and started focusing it. And focused energy is unstoppable. Goddard would say, you've stepped into your true self-concept, and now the universe can deliver what matches it. Let me be clear. This isn't about arrogance or shutting people out. It's about discernment. It's about understanding that your presence is a gift, and not everyone has the capacity to receive it. That's not a judgment. It's reality. You don't get angry at a plant for not blooming if it's not the right season. You don't blame the soil if the seed isn't meant for it. You simply plant your seed where it can grow. Some people are not your soil, and trying to force growth in the wrong environment only exhausts you and stunts your potential. Your light is real. It's valuable. It's needed. But it's needed by those who are searching for it, not those who prefer darkness. So here's what I want you to do starting today. Make a list of where your energy is going. Who are you chasing? Who are you trying to convince? Who makes you feel like you're too much or not enough? And then, with courage and clarity, begin to withdraw your energy from those places. Not with anger, with love for yourself. Redirect that precious energy toward yourself, toward your growth, toward the people who do see you. Watch what happens. Your entire life will reorganize. The right opportunities will appear. The right people will emerge. And you'll realize that all along, the problem wasn't that you weren't enough. The problem was that you were offering your light to people still learning to see in the dark. If you're ready to stop chasing and start choosing yourself, like this video, share it with someone who needs this permission, and subscribe because we're building a community of people who refuse to shrink for anyone. Tell me in the comments, what's the first relationship or situation you're releasing? Let's support each other through this. I'll see you in the next one.